Hi, welcome to my video on the addition formulas for tangent. Number 4, find the angles formed by two intersecting lines. So, the angles, I did that on a previous video in tangents trig number 2, so you can look up that video and find out how to work it out. But because we have the tangent formula, we're going to work it out this way. So let's draw a line and name it L1. And this line will intersect the x-axis, and the angle of inclination here is theta alpha. And let's draw another line, call it L2, and intersects the x-axis, and the angle of inclination is beta. And if we have an angle inside of the triangle, I'm trying to name this angle right here, I'll just cover it in, that we're going to name that angle theta, and that's the angle formed by the intersection of these lines. And there's two angles here, one is acute and the other one is obtuse. So if we take line 1 and say do the tan of alpha is the slope of line 1, and that slope we can call it M1. And we can take the line 2 and we can take the tan of beta, and tan is the slope, and that's the slope of line 2. And the slope of line 2, we'll call it M2. So what we have now is that we have this exterior angle, alpha, is equal to beta plus theta. So by the what we call the exterior angle theorem, we have alpha is equal to beta plus theta. So that means alpha minus beta is equal to theta. And that means that the tan of theta is equal to the tan of alpha minus beta. And alpha minus beta is the addition formula, and that comes out to be the tan of alpha minus the tan of beta all over 1 plus tan alpha tan beta. And tan is the slope, so tan of alpha is M1, tan of beta is M2, and that's 1 plus M1 M2. Tan alpha is M1, tan beta is M2. So this is the slope formula. And this is the formula we're going to use to find the angle between two intersecting lines. So let's do a few problems related to this slope formula. Again, slope is related to the tangent. The tan of the angle is equal to the slope of the line. Find the angle formed by these two lines, y equals negative 3x plus 4 and y equals 2x. So y equals negative 3x plus 4, and we have the slope of, we'll call it M1, the slope of this line, y equals mx plus b, the slope is negative 3, and we have the line y equals 2x, and let's call this one M2, the slope is 2. And the slope formula is related to the tan, so the tan, let's call it, there's two angles, let's call it theta 1. Is M1 minus M2 all over 1 plus M1 times M2. So M1 is negative 3, subtract m2, which is 2, over 1 plus m1 is negative 3. m2 is 2, so we work that out. We get negative 5 over. So that's, we have to multiply before we add, so it's 1. Multiply here, we get a negative 6, so that's negative 5 divided by negative 5, which is 1. So that means that the tan of theta 1 is 1. I'm just recapping this. So that means that theta 1 is tan to the negative 1. That's inverse of the 1. And if you take your calculator and work that out, you will get a 45 degrees. Or we could call it pi over 4, 45. And that means the other angle is the supplement of that. So it's 180 minus the 45. Make that a 5. So we get a 135. Or we could call it, there's 3 45s there, so it's 3 pi over 4. So that's the two angles. And we use the addition formula for tan because we have the slope of each line. Number 2, tan of theta is equal to the slopes m1 minus m2 all over 1 plus m1 times m2. If 1 plus m1 times m2 is 0, what do we know about the lines L1 and L2? L1 has a slope of m1, L2 has a slope of m2. So if we take this right here and recopy it, that means m1, m2 is equal to 0 minus 1. That means m1, m2 is equal to negative 1. And from math way back in probably grade 9 or even in grade 10, if the product of two slopes is a negative 1, that means the slope, the m1 is, and let me write this down carefully, m1 is the negative reciprocal of m2 because the product is a negative 1. So that's like take 1/3 and multiplying it by the negative reciprocal. So we change it to a negative and we do the reciprocal 3. That will give us a negative 1. So they're the negative reciprocals of each other. That means that if they're negative reciprocals of each other, that means L1 is perpendicular to L2 because perpendicular lines have negative reciprocals. So because the denominator, if the denominator was 0, that means these two slopes would be combined product of negative 1, so they would be perpendicular. Okay, we have one more to do. Number 3, I drew the grid. If A is 0, 0, let's take A to be 0, 0 right there. B to be 3, 4, so there's 3, 4. So there's B. C is 5, negative 1 right here. So it says find the measure of the angle BAC to the nearest degree. BAC, so if I draw the line passing through these 2 points, A and B, and I draw the line passing through these 2 points, AC, right here, it says find the measure of the angle BAC. We could also have a line going through B and C like that if we want. So there's, but we want the measure of this angle BAC. That means we have to deal with the slopes. Again, because we have the addition formula, we got the slopes of the line. So if we take the slope of AB and work that out, well, A is 0, 0. And B is 3/4. Slope formula is, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And this this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So that's 4 minus 0 over 3. That's a negative right there. 3 minus 0, so that's 4 over 3. Now we need the slope of AC. And again, A is, put that down, A is 0, 0. And C is 5, negative 1. And we get the slope, the slope form of y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. And that's negative 1 minus 0 over 5 minus 0. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. And that comes out to be negative 1 over 5. And because we have the intersection of these two lines, right here we're trying to find this angle, we can do it using the slope formula. And we have the whatever this angle, so the tan of the angle ABC is, we call one line L1. So we call this one, let's call this line L1, and let's call this line L2. So this is the slope of L1, and this is the slope of L2. So we have this line, AB, and this line is AC. We want to find this angle. So that's the tan of M1 minus M2 all over 1 plus M1, M2. And M1 is 4 over 3. Subtract 1/5. M2. And we have a 1 plus 4 over 3 times negative 1/5. And we work this out. We simplify. So that's 4 over 3 plus 1/5. Double negative positive. And we multiply here, and we get a negative 4 over 15. And if we want, we can, now we multiply through, let's go up here. We multiply by 15 is an LCD, so 15 times 4 over 3. 3 into 15 goes 5, so that gives us a 20. 15 times 1/5 gives us a 3. 15 times 1 gives us 15. 15 times 4 over 15, 15's cancel, I get negative 4. That gives us 23 over 11. And we want to get that angle because we have the tan. So that means that the angle ABC is tan to the negative 1 of 23 over 11. And we take our calculator and we turn it on, do inverse tan of 23 division 11, and we get 64. We're going to the nearest degree, so we'll go to 64. So that means the angle ABC is 64 degrees. And I did the tan formula again, tan of the addition. So that's working out the addition formula for tan. That ends this video. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, click on the like button or the subscribe button. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content of my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained, which is just one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video was of some help to you. Bye-bye.